Amorim makes his demands for the January transfer window clear. The United bosses have 2 weeks to get a left wing back signing. Now, talking of new signing, we did obviously bring in a young left wing back signing that's going to come in the summer, but we might also be bringing in another young midfielder, Sekou Kone edition. We know Christopher Vivell likes to look out for those African gems. Apparently, Manchester United are waiting to hear back from this club to put in an offer for some young 20-year-old DM that I'm not going to lie, I'd never heard of before making this video. So I will tell you that. We've also got other news stories to get into as well. Amorim sort of says the squad is not physical enough, makes his demands clear, talk of Eriksen's sale. And then Rashford drama for the 999th millionth trillionth time. We've got more updates on Rashford wanting to leave the club, this and that. We're saving that to the end because I'm so bored of Marcus Rashford stories. It's Christmas time. We know that he probably wants to leave. We know that Ineos are probably forcing him to leave. It's a bit of everything. I'm fed up of it. Do you know what I mean? But we will also say what Amorim has said on Rashford for the about 14th millionth time. I feel sorry for Amorim. Every other question in his press conference is Rashford, 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 Rashford. Leave the guy alone. He's said it so many times what the situation is. And let's be honest, Rashford's probably found out that Ineos are trying to push him out. Rashford's been a bit silly, done an interview saying, I want to leave. Amorim's, of course, going to punish Rashford for doing an interview. And if Rashford hasn't shown a level in training, Amorim's got to set a standard. And that is why Rashford is dropped. But we're not here to talk about Rashford. We'll save that to the end. We're here to talk about the left wing back situation. Ruben Amorim has set Manchester United's recruitment staff a 2-week deadline to acquire a left wing back after the January window opens. Now, this has come out from Dean Jones, who's probably very average in terms of reliability, not a waffle merchant, but not someone that you're like, whoa, tier one. Do you know what I mean? He's saying that Ruben Amorim has said when the January window opens, there's 2 weeks to sign a left wing back. I think this is true. I think that this is true. I don't know if this will happen, but I think it's true. Because if I'm Ruben Amorim right now, I'd be sitting at Man United saying, I need a left wing back as soon as the January window opens. I need it now because we've got Liverpool in January. We've got big games in January. We've got the Europa League when it gets into the knockout stages. So you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I wouldn't be shocked if he won to the board and said, I need a left wing back in 2 weeks. Because would you? If you were the Man United manager, if you'd seen that performances, right now, if I had to bring any signing in, it's a left wing back. I know that Kirkus has been linked, and we looked at him in the summer. Rich Romano has confirmed multiple times that we really like Kirkus. The thing is, if we could get Kirkus in January for a good price, United do that. Romano basically said that we really, really like the player, but United are sceptical about the price. Bournemouth are in a good position. Bournemouth are doing well. Bournemouth don't need to sell. Kirkus one of the best players. January window, hard to get a replacement. If we want Kirkus, a 30 million player who could be 30 million in the summer, Bournemouth will want 50 million in January. We're not going to spend 50 million on him. Dorgu could be available for 30 million in January. Probably the best fit for Amorim's system. Kirkus is ready-made. You know what you get with Kirkus. He's young, he's ready-made, he's Premier League proven. Dorgu could need time to adapt, but in terms of fitting Amorim's ideal left wing back, Dorgu ticks that box in terms of versatility. Aït-Nouri is another one, but I think Wolves wanting to stay up. I don't think they'll want to sell anyone in January. But I know that there's some of the players we're looking at. Alphonso Davies, of course, but I just don't think we're going to get him. But you can see why Ruben Amorim's pushing for this. Because Dalot, not a left wing back, he's been poor. Malacia been poor. We spoke about it on the United View on Monday night. We are playing a back five, so the wing backs need to be like wingers. But the wing backs are fullbacks, so they've never been good going forward anyway. Our best fullback going forward is Luke Shaw. And he's still known for his defensive contributions and will probably play left centre back in the system. Left wing back is the biggest problem at United, and I can see why Amorim wants that fixed, and he's probably making demands to Ineos like, I need a left wing back, I need this, I need that. I think striker and left 10 is likely going to become a summer thing. Maybe if Rashford goes, we'll see what happens. I think midfielder could happen in January if Eriksen's sold. We're going to talk about that in a sec. Centre back will happen in the summer. I think centre back and attack will happen in the summer, but I think left wing back and a athletic midfielder could happen in January. Now, I think that United will act like they haven't got much to spend in January and that they're broke, because if they say that they've got money to spend in January, teams are just going to mug us off. But I think Ineos will definitely be looking to do some business. I think they're keeping it quiet from the media. Now, one business Ineos could be looking to do, and this has Christopher Vivell all over it because he likes to sign young gems from Africa, is that United negotiations with Malian club, we're going to call it AC because I'm probably going to bottle the name, to sign defensive midfielder, and again, I apologise if I bottle the name, Daba Diakite, 20. United are waiting for approval from the side to submit a formal offer. I have no idea who this midfielder is. I've never watched him play, and I'm not going to lie and say, oh, he's really technically good. He covers ground so well. Ineos Moscas. I haven't got a clue. But Vivell, recruitment, I trust him. Legs, midfielder, interested. We'll see how this develops. Again, I don't know if Africa Foot is a reliable source of information, but it's one of those where it's such a rogue player to be linked with United that no one knows of, that it's like, why make it up? You know, why make it up? Unless, like, he's got an agent that is trying to put his name out there, so then bigger clubs look at him and say, oh, who is this guy? You know, it's either been made up by his agent to get this player a move, or there's going to be something in this and it could advance. But it's saying that United are waiting for approval from the side to submit an offer. So we'll see how this develops, because it's such a rogue name to link us to and make up. So I think whoever's got this information has got it from an agent. But could the agent be lying to get Dabba removed? Could United be looking at Dabba? Who knows? We'll see how that develops. But let's talk about some other news in regards to United. Per the United Mappeteers, Rashford thought he'd potentially be leaving last summer. This is why he cried after the FA Cup final. There has been talk that Ineos actually thought about offloading Rashford in the summer because of his wages and PSR. And, you know, we've got a lot of talk saying the decision on Rashford will ultimately be down to Amorim, but I do think that Ratcliffe was pushing Rashford out the door. I do think Ratcliffe is pushing Rashford out the door. I think FFP, I think wages, we think how big Ratcliffe is on cost cutting. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, Amorim has dropped Rashford, and I think that's fully Amorim's decision to drop Rashford. But outside of that, I do think that Amorim, I do think, sorry, that Ratcliffe will want Rashford gone. I do. I think Ratcliffe would push a Rashford sale if Amorim approves of it. That's what I think. If I'm going to be honest, it said the decision will be down to Amorim. Amorim is disciplining Rashford. He's not using Rashford. I think we'll probably see Rashford play a couple of games, and I think he could be moved on. I just don't know if he's going to go in January. But then, if you do an interview saying you're looking for a new challenge, is that because you're confident you're going to leave in January, or is that because you're asking clubs to come get you in January because you really don't like the situation at United? There's sort of mixed feelings on the Rashford situation, but I think it's a mixture of Rashford's probably thinks it's time to go. It's not working for him at the club, and I do think Ineos will look at FFP and stuff. And I think at the end of the day, if he gets his form back on the track under Amorim, I think he stays. But he's not even playing under Amorim. It looks like it could be the end for Rashford, to be honest. It said that signing a left back is still a priority for Amorim. Obviously, that is got to be priority. And signing a player like Eriksen would open the door for some major business. He's on 150k a week. United would like just to get 2-3 million for Eriksen, 150k a week off the wage bill, and then they can look at potential dealings in the January window. But Eriksen knows that if he just waits till the summer and runs down his contract, he's going to have more options. But then Eriksen also knows that he's not getting a whole lot of minutes under Ruben Amorim, and maybe will push for a January move. Casemiro is also barely playing under Amorim, and there is something that I heard behind the scenes about Man United hoping to sort of push Casemiro out because of his wages and stuff, and maybe if he doesn't play, he'd be willing to lower his wages to leave. Again, all rumours and speculation and stuff, but I think Casemiro and Eriksen are two players that will not be in Amorim's plan just due to the lack of physicality in their legs, which is important. And Amorim said this about rotation: in this moment, it's not rotation to see the players and prepare for the future, it's simply to avoid injuries. We're trying to address everything. Amorim is saying the reason he's rotating isn't because he wants to give everybody a chance, it's just to avoid injuries. And for me, that is Amorim basically highlighting how physically bad the squad is, not just injuries, but the physical level of the squad. And that's something that we need to improve, and that's something that we need to address in the summer and January if possible. So what's been said on the Marcus Rashford drama? Ruben Amorim tells Marcus Rashford that he won't get back into the Man United squad until he's the best he can be, and as the other players understand his stance. Which is fair. High standards, be the best you can be. You can't get back in the squad till you're at your best. Absolutely fair. But at the same time, when has Anthony been at his best? When has, Garnacho's not at his best? I'm all for ruthlessness and telling a player how it is, and Rashford hasn't been at his best, and when he's not at his best, he doesn't deserve to start. But let's not act like Anthony's been at his best. Let's not act like Garnacho's been at his best. Probably a bit more to it. Ruben Amorim said on what he wants from Rashford, he said, like any other player, the best they can be. If you have big talents, a big performance, big responsibility, big engagement, push forward everybody in this moment. Some guys have a big responsibility here because they've been here a long time. This is maybe one of the lowest moments in our club, so we have to face it and be strong in this moment. I think he's saying Rashford's a big player. He's an experienced player. He's been here long enough. He needs to take more responsibility, probably for things that maybe happen outside of football, because he says that, he's not always surrounded by the best people that have his best intention in mind, or something along those lines, is essentially what Ruben Amorim got at in a previous quote. It was also said on Rashford that, have I spoke to him, I speak to him every day, not about the interview, about performance. He wants to play. It was my decision, only my decision, to drop Marcus Rashford. He said he was asked if Rashford's in danger of becoming a distraction. He said, no, I don't think so, not for me, not for other players, because everybody is there. Everybody's there every day training, during training, and so they understand that it's the key point. He said, for the media and other people, I cannot control that, but I'm really focused, and they know I'm so clear in my message. Everybody in Carrington knows what I'm talking about and what I want from Marcus and everybody else, is what Ruben Amorim said. And I completely bottled reading it out because there was background noise distracting me there. But what Ruben Amorim is saying is, he's saying that Rashford is not a distraction. He's clearly just been dropped because he's not shown something in training, and Amorim's made it clear that he wants to see maybe this, and this in training, and he's seeing that from some players, and he's not seeing that from Rashford. I think is what Amorim's getting at, and he's saying everybody knows what I want, everybody knows my message is clear on Carrington, what I want to see, and you'll be picked for that as well. So he said, maybe he's a distraction for the media, but that's not my concern. All Rashford is at the moment right now is media talk. The media know that Rashford gets clicks. But my opinion on the situation with Rashford, and my belief, is this. Marcus Rashford thought he could leave the club in the summer. I think Ineos were open to a sale when he was aware of that, which is why he cried after the FA Cup final. He stayed at United. He was desperate to turn his form around. Hasn't gone his way this season at Manchester United. He's thinking, I'm 27. I've still got time left in my career. I should probably get out of United while it's bad. Doesn't look like it's going to get better for me at United. I don't want to be one of those players that, like a Phil Jones, where the legacy kind of goes. I think what's happened to Rashford, I think people have advised him to do interviews and come out and make comments at the wrong time. I think he's learnt that the club were willing to sell him and were making, asking around for him behind his back, which he didn't like, which probably prompted him to do the interview and prompted him to decide he wants to leave Manchester United. I think that's potentially going on. And I think Ineos are open to him being sold. Amorim said he's not showing the levels in training. He's doing the interview. He wants to show a bit of discipline to the squad. And then both of those incidents come together. It fuels the media. Speculation. Don't know if Rashford's going to go in January. I think it would be a summer sale because he's quite expensive. But let's hope we get a left wing back in January. That's the most important thing for me. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. See you next time. Bye.